Hello and welcome to the Mariana Dalto Show, the podcast where small business owners share their stories, insights, and strategies for success. I am your host, Mariana Dalto, and today we have an amazing guest with us, Jackie Dunn, who is the founder of Dunn Copywriting. With a passion for copywriting and coaching, Jackie has some incredible insights to share with us. Her motto is helping you find the right words. Welcome, Jackie, to the show.
Thank you for having me, Mariana.
Oh, you're welcome. It's a pleasure having you and excited to have you here. So, Jackie, tell me a little bit about what inspired you to become a business owner.
What inspired me? Well, when I had my little toddlers, I started scrapbooking. And apparently my friends and family thought it was so great that I think one of my friends said, hey, you should make a business out of this. You should do like custom scrapbooks or something. So I started researching how to do this, and I found a few courses that I took, and I did start scrapbooking. I even made a scrapbook for the Pope, like that someone gave the Pope, who had an audience with them. So it unfortunately it wasn't very successful because I didn't really have the support, I would say, in my family to pursue that, and I needed to get like a real job. So I started working in investor relations at that point, which involved a lot of marketing as well, and a little bit of copywriting, although at the time I didn't know what copywriting was. I didn't know that was a thing. And so when the pandemic hit and I was kind of stuck at home, I was thinking, hey, I actually kind of like this. Being at home and having the freedom to, have like a stress-free morning and, start my day the way I want to. And then I thought, I want to do something else. I want to improve my skills somehow. So the first thing I thought of was interior design. So I actually signed up for like not a university thing, but it was like a 12-month course. And I got to about 9 months of it, and I really, really liked it. Except I thought, well, what if the COVID stays? What if it comes back? I won't be able to do a thing with that. And then one day scrolling on TikTok, as you do,
Yeah, go
I
through
saw
social media.
exactly. I saw a copywriter who was showing her office at the beach and telling people how much she was earning and the freedom that she had. And that was just like, whoa, okay, wait a minute. First of all, what is this copywriting thing? And second of all, how can I do it? So
That's a
yeah,
nice way to get inspired to start a business, for sure.
yes, indeed. I thought, okay, is she a scammer? Is she just saying that? Is the backdrop just a fake? But I got into it. I started reading up on it. I started researching it. And then I started taking courses. I mean, I think I've probably, in the last 3 years, I've probably spent 40K on courses and reading and doing certificates and all kinds of things. And so that's how it got started. When I took my course with the Copy Posse, I did like an 8-week course where they teach you like everything from A to B, how to run your business, how to do a complete sales funnel, and that you have something for your portfolio when you're done. And so that really set me off because that's when I got my first real client, a mindfulness coach, which was really inspiring to me. I got to do her complete sales funnel. And that's basically how I got started. And so I still had I was working at the university then in an admin job, and I was doing it on the side, and it was really, really tough.
I'm sure.
So after a year or so, I said, hey, boss, can I reduce my hours? Because this job was supposed to be only 75%, but there was so much to do in it that he kept increasing it to 100. So he said, yeah, sure, okay. He didn't even ask why. And I was like, yeah, okay. So I had 1 day a week at least to focus only on my copywriting business. It wasn't easy either because, you're not only working on your clients' work, but you're trying to, keep your business up.
Yeah,
So
you
that
need to
means
build your
maintaining your
business.
website. Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Doing your whole sales funnel, and still learning along the way.
Hmm.
So then finally I thought, okay, I kept extending the day I was going to quit. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to quit in April, and then I was like, oh no, okay, let's do August. And then I'm like, oh no, let's do November. So I think I extended it almost a year until I finally decided to quit. I'm like, okay, if I don't quit now, I'll never quit, I
Yeah,
have to
because you
get.
never will be perfect. You will always have stuff to do in order to launch your business, for sure.
Exactly, exactly. It's like I just need to dive in. I need to feel the fear and jump in and do it anyway. I had some money saved, so I was like, okay, okay, let's just do this.
So how long you
Um,
been like a full-time copywriter now?
for a little over a year.
Very
Yeah,
nice. Okay. How do
yeah,
you feel
yeah.
about it?
Wonderful. I never looked back. I never regretted it. Even though it is, it is hard. There's always the point of feast and famine. But there are ways to get around that. And but yeah, it's just the feeling of your own freedom to be your own boss, to work with clients that you love, and to do it from anywhere in the world, literally. So yeah,
That's
it's the best
amazing. I
thing.
love it. That's a great
Yeah.
story. Thank you. So now that you are a full-time copywriter, what are the products that you serve, that you offer in your copywriting business? What problem do you solve for clients to help in their own business as it relates to copywriting or anything else within the copywriting arena that you focus on?
Well, there's, different types of clients. So there's the solo entrepreneur that's maybe just started out that just has no clue about how to market their business at all. So that's when I can also step in as a marketing strategist and say, hey, let's set up a sales funnel for you from beginning to end. And then I explain exactly the steps that we need to take to do that. And that's usually a really big project then, which can last a couple of months. Or there's also the, maybe small startups that have already done some of their own marketing. So they don't only need specific things like, hey, we need email sequences, or we need a sales page or a landing page done, or some ads. And then I just do these little small projects. So that's how that works. Or I can also write some articles. I've been writing articles for a sleep mask or smart sleep mask company. They're a startup, and it's been really awesome because I know a lot about sleep now that I
I
didn't
am
know
sure.
before.
After you work with a client, you always learn new things, for sure.
Yeah, that's the awesome part about it. Yeah.
So when you get a new client and you help them with copywriting, do you also do some coaching on the side for their own business since you learn about how to launch your business? How do you approach that? What do you offer that as a service as well?
Yes, I do offer that as a service. In the past, it's kind of been just like an add-on. I just kind of voluntarily did that. I didn't really offer it as a service. But I just know that some business owners need more guidance than others, because they're overwhelmed with the whole marketing thing. They're afraid to be on social media. They don't know how to write and they don't want to write. And so I can teach them how to write copy, or I can do it for them. It's a choice. So I usually wind up writing it for them
Yeah, that's
because
always
they
the
want,
case. It's like
yeah, they
learning the ropes and then okay, just do it for me, please. So then if we
exactly.
go if we go into mindset, right? There's a lot of
Mhm.
business mindset that, if you work with, entrepreneurs or small business owners, they will always face some blocks within their own business of how to move forward. So
Mhm.
what are some of the key mental shifts or habits that help you as an entrepreneur in your journey, or you notice within your clients that you were able to help them overcome when you were doing the coaching?
Mhm. Well, I think a lot of them are afraid to put themselves out there. So
Mhm.
they're afraid to be on social media. They're afraid to be vulnerable. And they deal with imposter syndrome, just like so many of us do.
Yes.
They're afraid that what they're offering, everybody else is offering it too. What's so special about me? And I help them figure that out, what's so special, how they can stand out. And I basically kind of hold their hand. I encourage them to, you have to feel the fear. You have to, if you want to get ahead in your business, like how passionate are you about your business? You have to be passionate, or else you're not going to take the steps you need to get to where you want to go.
Mhm.
So it's really a shift of, okay, I'm actually a business owner. Yeah, I'm not anybody's employee anymore. Um,
Right.
yeah, because some clients tend to want to treat you that way, and you have to nip that in the bud immediately. Because you are a business owner, you're working with them. You're not really working for them. You're working with them. They're paying you for a service, and they should trust you. So yeah, and I tried to get that across too, because that's not an easy thing to transition. I had struggles with that
Yeah.
myself. It took me a while.
I think every business owner struggles with that in the beginning until you get to a point where like, okay, I'm good. But and even I don't even know if you always face something on that
Yeah.
arena. But so how do you handle, your mindset in terms of like in order to overcome stress that comes from your, growing your own business? How do you
Mhm.
manage your mindset in that way where like, okay, I need to grow my business. You're stressed out about it. There's always something that stresses you out in your business. No business is
Yeah,
perfect,
yeah,
right? So how do you
yeah.
manage your mindset around that?
Well, I try to, first of all, find a balance in order to kind of offset the stress. So I go dancing or yeah, do other fun activities. I take my time, and I try to really focus on only 3 goals a day, if possible. Three main goals that I can accomplish to lessen the stress. Um, if I'm in like famine mode, we all have these fears about, oh my God, where's the money going to come from, right? I make sure that I do my acquisition every day. So I'm out there every day. I'm on Upwork, or I'm on Facebook, or I'm on LinkedIn, and I'm networking, or I'm, sending proposals on Upwork, because you need to have a steady flow. Because if you have clients, you're like, yeah, well, I'm busy with clients. Yeah, but what happens if your retainer is just dropped in a, drop of a hat? And you're like, oh, what do I do now? Yeah. So you have to
Yeah.
keep that kind of relieves the stress a little bit, because you know that something's probably going to come in.
In the beginning, when you start as a business owner, basically you spend 80% of your time promoting your business and 20% of doing the
Yes.
work, because you got
Yes.
to
Yes.
acquire leads and then nurture those leads and then,
Exactly.
talk about how you can help them. So it does take 80% of your time, and then that 80% starts going to 70 and 60, and then you start doing more work once you start acquiring clients. But that's the journey in the beginning when you start your own business.
Mhm.
So Jackie, what's the number one mistake you made that could help business owners to kind of be aware, like, okay, I will try to avoid these mistakes. So if I were to say the number one mistake I made was, what would that be?
I would say the number one mistake that I made would be to lower my price when I was kind of manipulated in a conversation, in a negotiation way at the beginning, because of the fact that I hadn't had many clients yet. And I was not good at sales at all. I was terrified of sales calls. And so I would lower my price, and then I would feel really crappy about that. I would resent it, and I would resent the client and the work. And so yeah, my advice on that is the price is the price. And it needs to be fair to both parties. It needs to represent your worth, or else you're going to resent what you're doing. It needs to feel good. It needs to be like a fuck yes.
It's a good value for both, for the client and for the provider, for sure. So if we
Exactly.
go and talk about like specifically on copywriting, like what strategies do you use to create compelling headlines that grabs attention? And that could be that you can put it on a website, you can put it on emails, you can, if you're doing a speech, what can you teach the audience about things that strategies that they can leverage for compelling headlines?
Okay. Let's see. Strategy for a compelling headline, in my mind, is always that it has to contain the benefit. It has to contain a good benefit encapsulated in the headline. That's what draws attention, addressing the problem right away, so that they're like, oh yeah, wait a minute, that's me. I think I need to check this out. Otherwise, there's a lot of generic headlines out there that do nothing. They don't grab any attention because people are like, I don't know what that's about. Okay, yeah, whatever. But yeah, address the problem and also address the benefit, and you'll be good to go.
Excellent. Thank you. That's a great tip.
You're welcome.
What about, so how important is to keep copy simple and clear, and what techniques do you use to achieve that?
Simple and clear. Well, I usually try to write in about a 7th or 8th grade level, because people are busy. They don't want to read hard words. They don't have the time. And so they just want to scan everything. Kind of spread your sentences out. Don't use blocks of text, because people don't like to read blocks of text. They're like, ew, no, I'm going to go somewhere else. So keep the sentences as short as you possibly can, and always make sure that you have open loops throughout your copy, so that they're enticed to read the next line, the next line, the next line. Have a great hook, obviously, and a great headline or subject line for your email, if it's an email. And yeah, break up the sentences. Make sure you break those up and make sure that they're as short as possible, because some people like to like run on sentences. Like it'll be a whole paragraph of a sentence and you're like, oh, what does it mean? I don't know. So yeah, make sure
I agree.
they're like, yeah, as short as possible.
Yeah, people like, if people go to a website, it has to pass the grunt test. If they only will spend 3 to 5 seconds scanning the website, and if you don't have clear messaging on your website, it'll pass through. They won't understand what they're saying. So speaking in 7th grade level, it's a good way, using regular language instead of using just like the technical words from your own business, because not everyone is techie within the words that you use in your own business. So just be clear, be concise, be to the point where you're really talking about how you help solve the problem in a clear way. So that's a great tip.
Try not to be fancy or like too creative. Like some people like to have little word games in there or some things. Like, no, don't even attempt that. I mean, it can be funny sometimes. Sure, you can put humor in it, but just make sure it's clear. That's the main thing.
Great. And then if we talk about social media, because I know you help people to do writing on social media. So what are the top tips that you would recommend for maintaining consistency in copy across the different platforms, right? You have your website, you have emails, you have social media. Is there something that you use as a tool and you can provide to the audience that can help to be consistent across all platforms?
Yeah, some tips that I use or I can give for social media is to, if it's visual, like for instance, Instagram, you want to make sure that your image is, like bright and captivating. What you can do to make it consistent and also save you some time is just to use ChatGPT. If you have a blog post, for instance, or you have a YouTube video, you can say, break this down and make it a Facebook post, make it a LinkedIn post, make it sound, like me. Of course, there's specific prompts you can use for that. But that saves a lot of time trying to, stretch it out or be conformed to the specific platform. So ChatGPT really helps a lot there.
Excellent. So across, like, it could be based on social media or anything around copywriting, what's the number one question you get asked all the time as a copywriter? Like, people like, oh my gosh, you're a copywriter. And then you get this question. What is it? What's the number one question you get all the time from people?
They usually say, first of all, I need you. The number one question is usually, actually, what does a copywriter do? Because there's sometimes a lot of people are not even sure what that means. They think I'm writing like patents or something, or trademarking stuff. So I have to explain that first of all. And the second thing is like, well, like what can you do? Like, how do you help? And I'm like, it really depends on what you need, like, do you have a website or what kind of service do you offer or what kind of product do you sell? So really, they're like, well, can you help me with my sales funnel? A lot of times, if they even know what a sales funnel is at that point, they'll
So
usually
what's
ask
your
for that.
answer when they ask you, like, what are the top 3 things? I say, this is what a copywriter do, and this is how I help you. What do you say?
I write words. The top 3 things are I write words that help you get more leads and sales, makes your copy convert, your text on your website, your text in your emails, and basically keep the customer coming back because I'm creating brand awareness for you, and we're gaining trust with your customers, and they'll keep coming back.
Amazing. That's awesome. Well, thank you so much for those insights, Jackie. That's really good. So before we wrap up, could you share where our listeners can learn about you and your business?
Well, I have a website called donecopywriting.com. I'm also everywhere else I'm on LinkedIn as Jacqueline Dunn. I'm on Instagram as Dunn Copy and Coaching. I'm on Facebook as Dunn Copywriting. I can be found pretty much anywhere.
Okay. Well, this is great. Thank you, Jackie, for joining us today and for sharing your wisdom. I'm sure a lot of business owners are excited to learn, to know more about what copywriting is, and now that they learn, maybe they can reach out to you for more help. So I appreciate it. Thank you to our listeners for tuning in today. We will add all the details about Jackie in the show notes. So if you want to go to her website or social media to find her, you can go and get that from the show notes. And then please, for the listeners, don't forget to subscribe and leave a review if you enjoyed this episode. And I'm looking forward to see you in the next episode. Thank you so much.